Hey everybody, it's Jason, I'm back with another video. So I hope your Christmas break has been going well, should you have one. I am aware, however, that not everybody does, especially those, for example, who work in jobs like customer service. The reason being that Christmas gets super busy with people buying things or eating things, for example, so people have to work. So kudos to you if you work in one of those jobs. I myself do, but it's not a face-to-face role, so I do get some time off. Having said that, this is what I'm going to be talking about today, essentially a bit about my job and what it's like to be a transgender person working in customer service. Now, just before we continue, if it just so happens that anybody from my work happens to find this video, I am not going to be slugging off my job. I actually enjoy it very much, and I've just received a permanent role in it, so why would I do that? But anyway, now I have worked in face-to-face customer service roles before, like pulling pints, a bit of retail as well, serving in a restaurant, that kind of thing. But more recently, and for about a year now, I've been working in a call centre. Now, for me personally, I actually prefer working in a call centre because of various reasons. The main one being that you don't have to worry about how you appear per se, face-to-face things, that kind of thing. But as a trans person, there are a lot of challenges that come with working in a call centre, and it can be pretty tough actually. So that was me at the very start of my first call centre job, thinking, well, my name is Jason, so people are just going to think I'm male, right? Because it's a male name. Oh, how wrong I was. Yeah, no, unfortunately it doesn't work like that. So in terms of how customers perceive you, they very much go with your pitch of your voice. And the problem with working in a call centre is because you're on the phone, there is pretty much zero bass in there because of what's called a high-pass filter, which is what makes the sort of telephone sound. Like if you listen to your voice on the phone compared to in real life, it's very, very different sounding. And especially because a lot of the natural bassy qualities, or timbres, as we call it in the musician world, are lost completely. So essentially, when I speak to customers and the whole issue of gender does pop up, there are three main possibilities that will happen with this. The first one I like to call is the indirect misgendering. This is when someone is speaking to somebody else in the background and they refer to you as the wrong gender. So for example, okay, Mrs. Smith, that's fine, but I just need to speak to Mrs. Smith first, if that's alright. Oh yeah, no problem at all. Darling, the lady on the phone wants to speak to you. Yeah, she needs you to speak to her. The second one, which can be more annoying, but at the same time, it's not too bad because it's less awkward as the conversation kind of carries on and keeps going, so you can sort of try and forget about it, is when people assume your gender just from your voice, even though you told them your name, and they mistake your name for something else. Good morning, through to me at my desk. My name is Jason. How can I help? Oh, hello, Jessie. Good morning to you. No, sorry. It's Jason. Oh, sorry, Tracy. Sorry. Anyway, I was just saying. I have been called so many names under the sun, and female names at that. It's ridiculous. I have been called Jessie, Jess, Tracy, Chelsea, and JC, whatever the hell that is. Like, what name is JC? Unless it's like the letter J and then C. Like CJ backwards, I don't know. Now, there have been a couple of instances where it has been nice. Like, for example, there was a student who forgot my name but then said thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Jeremy, at the end, which felt really good because it meant that she regarded me as male, but she just got my name wrong, which is brilliant. But that is extremely rare. The third thing, which is probably the most awkward of all, is when people do hear your name correctly and they don't really know how to process it. It's like their brains explode. Good afternoon, you're through to me at work.com. My name is Jason. How can I help? Sorry, what did you say your name was? Jason. Jason? Yeah. Right, okay, well, fine, I just need some advice on something. Sometimes then, especially towards the end of a call, if that happens, the question is asked, well, oh, that's a strange name for a girl or for a lady. Or sometimes they even ask, oh, as in like, Jason the boy's name. Or sometimes when you have explained to them that you are male, then they quite often say things like, oh, I do apologise, but you sound like a girl. It's a bit like saying to somebody who's overweight that they're fat. It's like, yeah, of course, like, I am aware that my voice sounds like a girl's voice. Like, no shit, Sherlock. Now, don't get me wrong, this doesn't happen all the time, but it happens significantly. And, as I said, it can really be quite draining. But honestly, it really depends. It's very much luck of the draw. Sometimes you can get misgendered loads in one day, in various different ways like I mentioned, or you could just not be at all. Of course, as time goes on and I go on testosterone, which should be in the next few months, then of course I will start to pass and get more and more of a deeper voice, and I'm sure this will become a thing of the past. So I'm going to persevere. My advice to somebody working in a call centre is, yes, people are going to perceive you incorrectly, especially if your voice doesn't sound like it should do to the average person ringing in, which unfortunately is a problem. They fit you into these very small boxes, and in about 2 seconds they have already decided whether you're male or female. And in particular, being non-binary is another thing on top of that, which a lot of people in society just don't understand, which is infuriating. And also, another thing to point out, I never bring up that I am trans. Never, ever, ever, because I just think that would make it more complicated for the customer, in terms of they would then focus on, oh, you're trans, and then sort of their own feelings about trans people could maybe come out of the woodwork, which I really don't want. Like, okay, fine, it's annoying that there's these really awkward pauses and they have to kind of process, well, you're a girl and your name is Jason, for example. But I'd rather they do that than they start going on at me about what they think about trans people, for example. Like, you're going to be talking to the customer for maybe a few minutes of your life, and unless they have to ring up again, you're not going to speak to them ever again. So in the long run, I would say, look, just don't bother. But yes, those are my thoughts on working in a call centre as a trans person. And of course, I will be providing many, many more videos through January time, and I hope you will subscribe down below, leave a comment. Do you guys work in a call centre? Do you people work in a call centre? Or do you work in customer service? How do you feel? Let's start a discussion about working in customer service as a trans person. And of course, I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.